You're tuned into the VSX Digital Sports Network.
More fire, more heat.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JB the Ticket. Vegas scoreboard is great. Turn that shit up. Giving you that grip.
That's right, Las Vegas and all my sports better around the world. Time to get the window and beat the line. You're rocking with the boss of the big board, JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express, live from the VSX Digital Studios here in Las Vegas. I'm your host and boss of the big board again, JB the Ticket. Follow the show on Twitter at We Beat the Line. Follow me on Instagram at JB the Ticket. The NFL is back, season 21, 2022, and here today with me to talk some NFL grease, my main man, Scotty, beam him up, Webb, from the East Coast Sports Investors. Back with us, Scotty. How you doing?
JB, man, I am doing wonderful, and I appreciate you having me back on the show.
And again, you guys can catch these games live on Fubo TV. Go to FuboTV.com/JB. I am giving you 15% off on your first month and an additional week free to keep the cash in your pocket. Cancel that cable bill. Don't get cabled. Get Fubo TV. Also being brought to you by Ultra Mobile. Make the winning call with Ultra Mobile. They're giving you a great product right now, $19 a month. If you sign up, go to VegasScoreboardExpress.com. I'm giving you 3 months free. So we're hooking everybody up with all the stuff that they're looking for at VegasScoreboardExpress.com this NFL season. And today we're going to be talking about the NFC East. Last year, the NFC East was a terrible division. Okay, worst division in football. Every single team finished under 500, and the Washington football team at 7-9 made it to the playoffs. So without further ado, let's get into it. Scotty, beam him up, Webb, the East Coast Sports Investors in the building with me. Let's talk about them. Washington football team. Now, last year, Scotty, as you know, these guys went to the playoffs. They finished 7-9, absolutely terrible football team. Although their rookie, Chase Young, we like to see what he was doing last year. Absolutely lights out. Think he made Defensive Rookie of the Year. So at 7-9, 2020. So 7-9, looking at that offense, they've got problems at the quarterback position. They had Dwayne Haskins. He couldn't get it done for them, costing them games, and then they bring back Alex Smith. You think the Washington football team, right now, at plus 225, that's low. That's low. Do you think there's any value in going with the Washington football team? Go ahead, Scotty.
Yeah, well, last year I think the reason they won the division is because they had the best defense, right? They only gave up 329 points, which was number one in all of the NFC in terms of points allowed. Their issue is going to be scoring points. They're going to have a good defense again this year. They bring in Fitzmagic to play quarterback. But I don't think that the Washington football team is one of these that provides value because this is also a division here, too, that seems to me that every single season, and I think it goes back almost 10 years now, where the same team that won the NFC East doesn't win it the year after. So I'm kind of ruling Washington out now. And looking at it from a perspective of, it's a value as a dog, but I don't know that they're a good value in terms of what their projected win rate is. They're projected to win 8 games. So that would mean, this year they're playing 17. So that would mean that they would be a below 500 team again this season, and I don't think that's going to be enough this year.
Well, again, the Washington football team plus 225. Go over to uwager.lv. That's right. And VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Use offer code VSX80. I'm giving you an 80% deposit bonus on your initial cash deposit to keep that cash in your pocket this NFL season. So at plus 225, Scotty, beam him up, Webb, I have to agree and concur with you. There is no value in the Washington football team. So moving along in the NFC East, my hometown, New York Giants. This is a team that's really been having fits and starts. That's what I like to say. They've had fits and starts. Got new quarterback, Daniel Jones, out of Duke, coming into that third year. Saquon Barkley, unfortunately, he has been injury-prone out of the draft. Hasn't given as much production as we would like, but at plus 425, do you think the New York Giants this year gets over the hump? Win total for the New York Giants, 8.5. I've seen it, 9.5 on some boards. Is there any shot to bet the New York Giants this year in a futures ticket in that division? Go ahead, Scotty.
Well, I think that if you're going to do it, this is the team to bet as a dog, because I think that they have a little bit more going for them this year than what the Washington football team does. I think that what's interesting about this division is none of them play good defense except Washington, and truthfully, none of them have a good offense except for Dallas. So how do you rank these teams? And it's going to be kind of interesting to see too, because one of the things that I think is far that people don't really put into perspective is the health of the teams. Last year, the Giants they ranked 24th out of 32 teams in health, and their offensive line was 28th, the quarterback was 30th, and the wide receiver was 31st. So I expect them to be a little bit better on offense than they were a year ago. I expect them that they were I wouldn't say halfway decent. They were one of the poor defenses, but they get another year under their belt. I expect them to play a little bit better. So I expect this team to probably be in that 8-win neighborhood. If they get a little lucky and catch a team where they can, maybe they can get to 9. So that puts them in the running for that division, because again, I don't think there's any one of these teams that are going to be the barn burners.
You've heard it here from my main man, Scotty. Beam him up, Webb. Follow him on Twitter at Webby MLB20. Moving right along to America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, at only plus 125. Is there any value in betting in the comeback of Dak Prescott, Mike McCarthy in his second year? These guys are training out in Oxnard. You got safety Keanu Neal. He's the only real deal secondary player that they have. A lot of rookies, Micah Parsons, defensive line, Brent Urban. Again, you're talking about a team right now that has had numerous front office issues over the last 5, 6, 7 seasons. I mean, there's just been all kinds of stuff going down in Dallas that hasn't been producing wins or teams that can go to the playoffs. So, at only plus 125, is there any value on betting the Dallas Cowboys this coming season? Go ahead.
Well, it's always fun to clown on the Cowboys. I mean, they're one of those teams that, have had their issues in the past. And that's probably something that will continue to follow that team, just based on how they're run and who runs that team. But they're one of those teams, too, again, that fall into that health problem scenario from a year ago, that they ranked 28th. They're actually worse off than what the Giants were. Their offense ranked 29th. 32nd at quarterback, 31st at tight end, and 31st in offensive line. So I expect them to play much, much better on offense than they did a year ago. They just can't stop anybody. So their issue is going to be whether they can continue to play offense enough to score enough points to win the division. I like them as the favorite in the division, but I don't necessarily think they're the best bet. One of the reasons that I think that way is because the way the schedules lay out, Washington has the easiest schedule, followed by the Giants, and Dallas and Philadelphia have the toughest schedule. So it really favors the Giants, in my opinion, as a dog wager type, where they can get to a point where they can win 8 or 9 games and be right there at the end. Remember, last year they were at the end too, and then Philadelphia sat their starting quarterback in the second half of that football game, and it was a big controversy and all that, and they ended up losing that game, and that also knocked the Giants out of the playoffs.
Well, you're talking about a team last year in the Cowboys that finished 6-10. I'm telling everybody right now, no value at plus 125. Bet the Cowboys during the season as a dog play. Now, Coming into my favorite dog of this division, we're talking about a team that is bringing in a new starting quarterback. Jalen Hurts, the Philadelphia Eagles, plus 475. I'm telling you right now, in the NFC East, I'm all over it. This was a team last year that tried to play Carson Wentz. They also tried to bring in a couple of other scrubs at quarterback. When they realized that they had gold on the bench, he was able to pull out a couple of respectable wins and losses. However, when you finish at the bottom of the division, 4-11, nowhere to go but up. JB the Ticket is telling you right now, plus 475, jump all over the Philadelphia Eagles. Scotty, what say ye?
Well, I like your optimism for that team, and I like there's a lot of buzz about Jalen Hurts. Positional rankings, though, at quarterback, they rank 25th out of 32 teams. So statistically, I'm not so sure that everybody else is following that same guild. However, their offensive line is 14th, and their defensive line is 16th. Their biggest issue is skill positions. They don't have good running backs. They don't have great wide receivers. Their secondary is not that great. And I think after this course of time, you've lowered the rank on the head coach, too. So I think that they're in a position where I like the value and I like the idea that anything can happen in this division, though. So when you're talking about dogs like that, you're only talking about, a difference of basically 2 games. Dallas is projected at 9.5 wins. Philadelphia is projected at, say, 7 wins. That's only 2-3 wins difference between the two. And I don't think, and Philadelphia is supposed to be the worst team in the division. So I don't think that's that big of a gap between them. And when you think about Dallas, they can't stop anybody. They can just play offense.
Well, I'm telling you right now, they drafted Heisman winner Devonta Smith out of Alabama. They've got Jalen Hurts, also former Alabama product, finished up his college career at Oklahoma. And they've got first-year head coach Nick Sirianni, who doesn't want to end up on the hot seat. First 4 games, I'm looking at the Eagles maybe to go 3-1, possibly 4-0. JB the Ticket is telling you get all over the Philadelphia Eagles. Again, want to thank Scotty Beam 'em up Webb for stopping by the big board today. Any shout-outs, Scotty, before we get out of here?
Well, like always, I appreciate being on the show, and I also want to thank my man Jeff Dawson at East Coast Sports Investors and what we do over there. So awesome situations for us all to be working together.
That's what I'm talking about. Again, JB the Ticket, my main man, Scotty Beam 'em up Webb. Follow him on Twitter at WebbyMLB20. And again, thank him for stopping by. I want to give a shout out to my big bro, DJ J Double. Rocking with you, big baby. We're going to beat it, and you're going to continue to rock with us. Also want to give a shout out to Zyra over at Keller Williams VIP. If you're going to be looking at real estate in the Las Vegas metro area, Keller Williams VIP. So, JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express. It's the NFL 2021-2022. What are you going to do? Well, I'm telling you what I'm going to do. Get the money.
You're listening to the boss of the baseball.
More fire, more heat.
JP the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard. Giving you that break.
This football season, stay in the game with Fubo TV. Over 100 live channels, including NFL Network, NBA TV, and FS1. Don't miss any of the action. Get 7 days free on us at VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Don't get cabled, get Fubo TV.